everybody for joining our live session today on the mobile EV charging and roadside assistance vehicle. We are very excited about the next hour that we're going to spend together looking through this new product and the new features and possibilities. So I would like to start with some introductions to the team that is going to be here with you today. We're going to start with Michelle Brown. She is our sales director for Leads, and Michelle was is a mother of introduction of our mobile charging trucks to all the fleets across California. So thank you, Michelle, for joining. She will be joining us and sharing some of the case studies and use cases that she's observed in California for this particular product. And we've got myself, I'm Julia. I'm a head of marketing for L Charge, so I'm very happy to put this together for you and make it worth your while. And without any further ado, I'd like to hand it off to our main presenter today, Stephen Kelly. Stephen Kelly is our CEO. Stephen Kelly is gonna touch on the most exciting parts of us introducing this product to market, such as use cases, case studies, key features, and real-world deployments where mobile EV charging and roadside assistance vehicle could be could be used for. So, Stephen, the floor is yours, please.
Thank you, Julia, and welcome everyone. I'm really excited to share today a new product that we have rolled out recently. We found a number of reasons why our customers were looking for a mobile EV charging solution beyond what our core products are. For those of you who don't know L Charge, we've now been around for about 5 years now and is the leader in off-grid charging. We have 3 main products. We have our integrated EV charging unit, which is a 180 kilowatt DC fast charger. We have a distributed version of that where we can stack multiple generators together and bring a broad set of different chargers to your market. And now the third product that I want to talk to you guys about today is our mobile EV charging and rescue assistant vehicle. So this is an interactive session. If you are interested in questions, please post those in the chat. Julia will be managing those and bringing them up, but we'd love to tackle any of your questions or comments or use cases. So please, I'm encouraging you to ask lots of questions. So with that, why did we build this vehicle? Well, one of the things we found in the market, even before I go into this, I think I built the first one for AAA about 14 years ago, where it was a battery system that took up the entire bed and could charge about 60 kilowatts of total capacity. Well, we've come along. What we've seen in the market is that as more and more EVs get on the road, there's becoming more and more challenges of how do you charge them, whether it's at your site, whether they get stranded, if you're in a situation where the grid goes down or it's an emergency situation. And so this vehicle really does come to the rescue to solve those problems. In addition to that, we're seeing a lot of damage on towing EVs. So as you try and pull EVs up under the tow truck, many of the mechanical things can break in there, which cost thousands and thousands of dollars. So more and more of the OEMs, our fleet customers, and our tow truck partners are saying, hey, give me something I can bring to the customer or to the site or to the location that helps me charge vehicles very quickly. You know, when you're on the roadside, safety is a critical issue, and being able to bring a vehicle in there, get it back on the road in a matter of minutes helps the safety of the driver, the passenger, the customer. And so what we really did was help build a product that expedites that. The other key thing we've seen is just the cost to implement EV charging in a number of locations. I live here in the Bay Area, and I was with the city of Oakland recently, and they had bought a number of vehicles for their police department, for street sweepers, for their parks and rec. And the average cost to install 2 chargers at their location was over $500,000. and that killed the entire project. Well, this type of solution now brings that back to them and allows them to bring the charging to the facility and solve many of those challenges that they're facing. So let me go into a little more detail about what this looks like, some of the key features of it. What I love about this and why many of these other traditional EV charging vehicles have, I think, not really been adopted is they usually take up 50 to 70% of the space in the truck. So you put in a tank, a generator, an EV charger, and it tends to be a very small charger like a level 2 or maybe a 30 kilowatt DC fast charger. And so the vehicles only can be used for one purpose, which is responding to electric vehicles. In this particular case, about 90% of the space is saved for all of the traditional things you would use in servicing or supporting a vehicle, whether it's on your fleet lot or on the road. This provides 15 continuous hours of charging at 60 kilowatts. That's about 9,000 kilowatt hours that it can charge without having to refuel, which by far is an industry-leading metric. What I also like about it is you can get 35 to 50 minutes of charge to a vehicle in about 10 minutes. So you're in, you're out, you're quick, and it really does improve it reduces the time you're on site, it increases the number of visits you can do, and more importantly, keeps your drivers and your customers safe. So with that, we're really seeing this product being used in two areas. The first is by fleet operators who are bringing the charger to their fleet where either they don't have existing power, whether they are flexing, for example, if you're a last mile delivery and you're the holiday season, you need additional capacity on these sites to manage the increased load and deliveries of your vehicles. But also maybe you just have a site that's too expensive to install EV charging. This is a great case. The second one is really towing and roadside support, where you have vehicles that are stranded and you need to come out there and be able to charge that vehicle quickly. I was talking with one of our customers, Manhattan Beer, who is the distributor out of the New York Bronx area. When they have one of their electric trucks go down, it's a fiasco. They have to bring a separate electric truck out there. They have to detach the trailer. They have to reconnect it, continue on their routes, and then get a tow truck to come back and refuel that vehicle. In this particular case, they could use our rescue vehicle, be out there in a matter of minutes, get it back on the road in less than 30 minutes, and they've solved some really costly as well as customer impact that they don't have to have with this vehicle. So I'm going to go into detail in a couple of these, but before I do, is there any questions so far that we've gotten on the chat? I'm guessing because I don't hear Julia that that's a no.
Not yet, Stephen. I guess everyone was just captivated by your pitch. Carry on.
Thank you so much. So for fleet operators, we're really seeing that this is a benefit for small to medium fleets that need charging, that are struggling, whether the infrastructure cost is too high, or they just want to try out a few vehicles and have a great way to provide on-site charging. Finished vehicle logistics is another area where we're starting to see bringing the charger to the vehicle. And for those of you who are not sure what that is, that's the ports where new vehicles are coming in as they get offloaded off the tankers and are stored before they go out to the dealers, and they need charging in that large capacity. As I mentioned, fleets that don't have power or are very costly or maybe are on a short lease or have contaminated soil, this is a great alternative to be able to bring charging to them very quickly and move that. The other key area that we see constantly is they build infrastructure for a certain number of vehicles, and then their fleet grows and they need to expand the number of chargers, but it's very difficult with the utility. So being able to add this as a flexible capacity to increase the number of chargers in a site, whether it's temporarily or permanent, is another great feature. And the last one, which I think most of our customers are really excited about, is resiliency. So as you know, the grid can be very unstable in certain areas, and the cost traditionally to put in battery storage or solar or permanent generators to support that can be very expensive. So this allows you to have built-in resiliency, whether it's for emergencies or just day-to-day operations when a charger or a bank of chargers or the grid goes down. You can bring that up and keep your fleet operating and servicing your customers. So on the towing and roadside support, though, some of the key benefits there is adding EV charging to your existing services without having to get a second vehicle. So you can still customize this roadside and towing vehicle as you would normally spec it out. But in that small right-hand corner right here, we have included that 60 kilowatt DC fast charger. And for those of you who are wondering, how are we able to do that? Thomas, who is on our call here as well, has really built an exciting way to leverage a onboard PTO that runs off the existing engine that creates the energy that then powers the electric vehicle. And we customize that powers the EV charger. And we've customized that in very small form factor to fit into that side door, as you see here in the picture. So it's great that can continue to run. For many of our towing and roadside support customers, as I mentioned, it's faster time to get them up and running. It can add additional revenue to you by offering this as additional service. And you don't have to have additional generators or fuel or EV chargers. It's all integrated into a single unit. And we think it can really help you expand your business in a more efficient manner. So going back into a little bit more detail on each of these, and explaining it is, if you're a fleet operator today with maybe a few different sites that have electric vehicles, this is a great way just to move this unit from site A to site B, or if you have roadside support that you need to do, and really get a lot of benefit out of a single mobile, all-in-one charger that you can bring anywhere. And this saves, a tremendous amount of money and installation cost, the time to deploy, and really are not limited by the site or infrastructure or space or the utility. Another area that we're seeing fleets in, like I mentioned, is expanding the EV capacity. So this is a great way, as you get more vehicles or you have exceeded the capability of the site, to come out and see those and start charging those additional vehicles. Another area that I didn't mention that we're seeing some of our fleet operators use for this type of application is, in many states, the cost to charge an electric vehicle between 4 and 10 p.m. is 4x, or the demand charges can add. I had one customer that had $16,000 a month in demand charges because they happened to charge their fleet 30 minutes early, and it was a massive cost. So we're seeing people come in and where they want to charge on that peak period, use this type of support vehicle to charge without having to pay the very high cost of demand charges. And then lastly here is emergency charging. As I mentioned, resiliency or flexibility or down chargers, unfortunately, that is an issue that's happening in the industry. This provides a way for you to very quickly get out there, get everything up and running, and not have a disruption to your own fleet, to your customers. So we think it's a great way to add built-in redundancy without, some of the really high costs that we've seen in the past.
So
Julia,
we've got a question coming here from Nick Aluden. Nick is asking, is this platform being used with heavy equipment such as construction equipment as well?
Exactly. So this is a CCS1 connector. It's a DC fast charger. We're seeing this anywhere from light duty vehicles all the way up to Class 8, like school buses. Manhattan Beer, which I mentioned, is Class 8 trucks. Bringing this onto a construction site is a great way to do it, where you can power electric vehicles that are on site there. So yes, that is a great use case for this.
More questions. Ward Thomas is asking, what is the size of the battery at the back of the unit?
The great thing is we do not need a battery. This is all being driven through the PTO off the engine as it idles. So there is no battery, and we can deliver 15 hours of continuous charging, or like I mentioned, 900 kilowatt hours of charge to vehicles.
Nick is commenting here as a thanks to your comment back, saying that he would expect Volvo, Cat, and others that would be soon be purchasing this kind of vehicles for their use cases.
Exactly, and not just for the construction equipment, that they have out in the field, but also when something goes down, they're able to take this out and get them on the road.
Let's carry on.
Excellent. Well, I appreciate the questions, and let's keep going through this. So there are really two ways in which you can get this vehicle into your fleet. One is to purchase a new one, where if we know what are the requirements and how you want to customize it, we can get it to fit exactly to your spec. We'll build this typically on a Ford 350 or above platform. You can pick your own add-ons. We just need to know what you're looking for in that and equip it and get the equipment you need specific to your fleet. Or we can retrofit your existing, if you have a Ford F-350, there's certain requirements, you're able to upgrade your existing vehicle with this capability, and we can either do it each way. So it's some great options for you to use to be able to figure out what's the right approach for you. And there's lots of ability to customize. So just as you would in any service or fleet vehicle, you can add, and this is by no means an extensive list or a complete list, a number of different things, whether that's different lighting configurations, racking, you could add your own battery storage if you wanted to, compressors, welders, wraps, I mean, you name it, we can build that to your spec. We just need to know what you're looking for, and we can go from there. With that,
one more
yes.
question came in here. Could it charge a Powerwall for home use?
So typically a Powerwall wouldn't have a CCS1 connector, so you wouldn't be able to charge it from that perspective.
Okay, thank you.
I have seen, though, certain buildings that allow you to connect a vehicle, and given the fact that this would be, I don't think that would be difficult to do. You'd have to probably build a system that would allow you to take a CCS1 plug. I've seen it on the commercial side where they have built in a disconnect at a site that can take a CCS1 connector and power that. That's the only way I'm familiar with being able to power a building or something else.
So Steve, can I jump in?
Sure.
So the truck also has an inverter in it as well, so we can supply 480 volt 3-phase that can tie into an existing, like a Powerwall unit, as long as it has the proper fuse box and everything and the connections. So you can tie, because in one side of the truck we do have the inverter with the outlets and everything, 480, 240, 120, that we can adapt it to a building or for emergency services and stuff like that.
Great add-on.
We've got another commenter here saying that AG equipment like Monarch tractor and Case IH could also benefit from this kind of product as well.
Yeah, agriculture to me seems like a great opportunity to be able to power that with where they don't have traditional power in the fields and other farms.
What is the maximum output per hour?
60 kilowatts per hour. Or I guess it would be.
Thomas, thank you for a question. Keep them coming.
Excellent.
Steven, let's carry on.
From a retrofit perspective, if you've got a Ford F-350 chassis with the 7.3 liter engine, we're able to retrofit those. And if we want to, I know there's a few other things, Thomas, you may be looking for on that, but anything you want to highlight on the retrofit that we should explain to the audience?
Yeah, on the retrofits, we just have to make sure that it's the 7.3 liter gasoline engine, not the smaller version, because it will not be able to handle the load. But as far as the chassis goes, I mean, this is just from the Ford side. I mean, we do have the options on the bigger units like Peterbilt's, Kenworth's, and stuff. If people go down that road, those are all options, they can go up to 180 kilowatts with the bigger trucks, but these are the most common platforms, will be the smaller versions.
And I do know I do get a question of, can I use Ram or Chevy or other 350 and above? We have tried those. We in fact have built one on the Ram chassis. The way in which that idle system works in the PTO is not nearly as efficient. So we really think that the Ford platform is a better solution for longevity and reliability and efficiency.
Yes, that is correct.
Excellent. So how do you purchase this? Well, the great news is you can purchase this as you normally do from a cash perspective, whether that's direct through state contracts, through Sourcewell, or you can finance this through your current leasing provider, Ford Leasing as well. So you've got a couple different options, and we would follow usually the normal process you would have under the state contract with your local dealer. We'd spec it up and then provide that back through your local dealer as a way to procure that. So this fits right into your standard contracts and makes it really easy for you to procure and purchase that vehicle. Another thing that we are doing here coming up here later in the week and next week is we are doing a tour through California. So if you happen to be local to any of these areas, and if you want to come out and see us this Saturday in Santa Ana, there's a large Generation Zero event that we'll be at showcasing this. And then we'll be taking it up the coast and doing private demos for a number of customers, ending up in Sacramento. So if you happen to be in the area, are interested in seeing it, would like to stop by or get your own demo, please reach out to us. We have an email at the end of this, or you can send it back to the invite, and we'd be happy to show you this vehicle. I think seeing it, you're really going to be impressed how small the form factor of the Charger is and how much you can really do with that. So come visit us, see it in person, or contact us for your own private demo with your fleet.
Guys, you can put a comment below if you are interested in us visiting you with a demo. So use the comment section to leave a comment for us, and then we'll get in touch. Stephen, we've got a couple more questions here for you. Is there 480 volt capability is three phase or it's a single phase?
I'm going to let Thomas answer that.
The 480 volt is three phase.
Three phase, thank you. And also, what size inverters are available?
We start at 7.5 kVA. You can go 10 kVA, which is more than enough, or, it depends on the application, but we can match up the inverters to the need.
Thank you. We've got another question here coming from Ward Thomas. Thank you for being so involved. Does this break powertrain warranty with the Ford? Good question.
No, they honor the warranty. Ford honors the warranty. We've been doing this for 9 years now. We actually, worked with Ford to make sure that the proper size generators, the PTOs, everything is to Ford specifications.
This is great. And well, since we reached the end of our presentation here and we still have a bit of time here, I was thinking that perhaps Michelle could tell us a little bit about her experience with the first time launching it to the entities in California that she's already done in the past couple of weeks, and perhaps highlight some of the use cases that we haven't yet covered.
Great. Thank you, everybody, for joining. We're really excited about this new product. We've got a lot of customers excited about this new product. Those that are already using our mobile chargers with integrated chargers on board also see this as an additional product for them to use. It's interesting. Until Steve and I really started kind of working through all the different use cases and who this is perfect for, until you get out there, you really don't know everything yet, right? So we've been taking it around, we've been demoing the truck, We're also letting some customers actually use the truck for a few days through a demo program. And the use cases are just nonstop. So every time we go somewhere, we hear somebody say, "Oh, our chargers went down, and we had to wait 3 or 4 days. These trucks were down." So the redundancy, the resiliency, and the fact that you can just move it from yard to yard. It's a perfect DOT product. It really is. It's got all the functionality that a DOT needs in a service truck, with the addition of the 60 kilowatts. So the fact that you now can have a truck that you already have in your fleet, whether you're bringing new service trucks into the fleet or you want to upfit the service trucks that you have, um, it really just it's not just it's not a generator on a truck, right? It is an actual utility truck that has all the functionality, whether you need the compressor, whether you need the tire package, the fluid top off, all those things. So I think that we're going to see a lot more use cases as just the last several weeks, that we've seen just how people would use it, why they're so excited about it. Whether you're a transit agency, you've got 10 electric buses, but you've got 2 more coming. This is perfect while you wait for the upgrade in your infrastructure. As Steve said, you've got a vehicle that's, stranded on the road. You roll your service truck that actually just happens to have a 60 kilowatt charger on it. So it's a true fleet vehicle, whether you're a fleet manager, maintenance, operations. Um, I think one of the use cases that we're really getting excited about now is airports. So you've got the land side and the air side. It's sometimes difficult when you've got electric, equipment that's on the air side and the land side. This truck can go between both. So you're not, nailed down to have your charging infrastructure in one, particular area. If you've got some electric equipment, this truck can go on both sides. So we're really excited, and we're thankful that you all joined us today.
We have a question here. What is the max batteries and ports that can be added to a single vehicle? Thinking of charging multiple vehicles at one time.
Yeah, currently today we only have set this up as a single cord that can come out, so you can deliver the full 60 kilowatts. And that way you're just literally, once that vehicle's charged, you can pull it right out and connect it to the next one. Is how we've designed it.
Yeah, we've done the prototype originally with batteries, 75 kilowatt batteries, to bring it up to like 150 kilowatts, or but then you can add 2 cords. But that would all have to be customized, as you know, Steve. So for the customers, again, that every utilization that is being proposed has to be thought out and constructive accordingly to your specs.
Great.
Well, look, we are done in half an hour. Fantastic. We still retain the audience that we've had. Thank you everyone for coming and for learning a bit about our product. We would be more than happy to hear from you if you'd like to see a live demo of our equipment in California next week. If you have any further questions about additional information or any other things that were discussed today, will be shared with you in an email that you've provided to us whilst registering for this event. And we are excited to welcome you to the next upcoming webinars in our series. So please subscribe to our channel and make sure you don't miss any updates from us. Thank you, Stephen. Thank you, Michelle. And thank you, Thomas, for bringing the knowledge on this product here today.